So the first lesson is don't kill motivation. You know, businesses are often not about just increasing it, it's just by stop decreasing it. I'll tell you a story. I gave a talk at a company in Seattle a few years ago. It's a big software company, and I was giving a talk, and I was in this room with 200 really depressed engineers talking to them. It turns out they were working on whatever the next version of they're working on something really important and big for that company. And a week before I showed up, the CEO of that company came to them and canceled the project. And they were incredibly devastated. This was a group that worked for 2 years on something that they thought would be the next great thing for that company. And a week before, he just canceled it. And they did not show up on time. They were just devastated. They were just morally devastated. And by the way, after that, many of them just left the company. They were very good people. They were just so demoralized. And I asked them, I said, okay, let's just assume the CEO had to cancel the project. Just assume he had to cancel for whatever reason. Let's not question that. What could the CEO have done not to get you to be so depressed? And they came up with all kinds of ideas. They said, what if he allowed them to make a few working prototypes and distribute them within the company for a few years? And just kind of see what people do with them. They said, what if he allowed them to take parts of this new technology they were developing and see which parts will be useful in other parts of the organization, right? Have some kind of leftovers from the project. They said, what if he would allow them to do a workshop for the whole company to show them the journey of the last 2 years, what they've accomplished, what they've learned, what they struggle with, what they've figured out. And the thing about all of those suggestions, all of them would have needed some time, money, and effort, right? And if the CEO thinks that those people are just like rats in a cage, he said, oh, I told you to go this way, you went this way, now I want to go somewhere else, I'll close that gate, I'll tell you to go somewhere else, then you don't need to worry about motivation. But if you understand that motivation is incredibly important, then you say, how do we get these people who have invested a lot in this, and how we don't just crush their spirits? But what he did was to crush their spirit. So lesson number one is stop crushing people's spirit. And you know, it might seem like a ridiculous, obvious thing to do, but if you look at lots of companies, you'll see lots of places where not because people intend to do harm, but just because we don't truly appreciate where meaning comes to life, we do lots of those things. We get people to start projects and we cut it in the middle. We get people to prepare presentation and they never get delivered. We do all kinds of things that eliminate motivation. Imagine we were doing this little video segment, and we knew all along that there's a good chance it will never see the light of day. It will just never be posted anything. There's like a black hole where it's being posted and nobody will see it. How exciting would that be? You know, lots of people are working in an environment like that. Now the more important question is, how do we get people to get more motivation, not just stop decreasing motivation, but increasing the sense of meaning? Lots of ways to do it. And maybe the best example is to think about the open source community. One of the things that happened in the open source community is that there was a legal advance where they basically agreed that everybody who writes a piece of code, their name would always be connected to it. Now you can say, why? Who cares? People care. If your name is connected to a piece of code, you're going to maintain that piece of code forever. There was a period in time where people were worried about getting open source software, because who's going to maintain it? If your name is connected to it, you're going to maintain it. And indeed, people maintain all kinds of software in all kinds of unlikely events, and people invest in it. And knowing that if I create something and other people build on it, it would always have my name and my connection and my sense of contribution is incredibly motivating. So just think about that simple idea of where do we put people's names, right? On every piece of software. Like, why on the hood of the car, all the people who are involved could, sign their name in a very small print. And then, of course, there's other things, right? It's not just about name association. It's about the feeling of contribution and the feeling that you have a say, autonomy, right? That you're not just told what you're going to do, it's that you are doing it. There's a very cute experiment in which they take kids, they come with their mother to a lab, and they go into a separate room with the research assistant. And they do a drawing together. And one time the research assistant does the drawing and the kid tells them what to do. So the kids give the instructions and the research assistant does the mechanical work. In another condition, the research assistant gives the instruction and the kid does the mechanical work. And then as they finish it, the research assistant take the drawing in their hand, go out of the room first before the kid, shows it to the mother and says, look what I did. And the question is, when will the kid be more upset? Right? So the research assistant basically takes credit for the kid's job. When will the kid be more upset? When the kid did the drawing, but the idea was somebody else? Or when the idea was the kid and somebody else did the mechanical thing? And the kids get more upset when it was their idea. Think about how much we don't give credit in this world to other people's ideas. How many people feel that their ideas were taken, somebody else is using it, and they don't get credit? Credit is free, right? Credit is great. Give everybody credit, right? There's a team of 100 people, give everybody credit. Why not? Why are we so stingy with giving people credit? Anyway, so there's lots of other examples like this where you could just say, let's look at all the things that give people a sense of meaning, and let's just try to give more of it on an everyday basis.